effective on body brains would be osteopathy, chiropractors, or chiropractors and massage therapists. Okay? Energy therapies, those originating within the body, such as Qigong, which is internal and external, your Reiki, or therapeutic touch. Other sources use of magnetic fields and electric currents as well. Now, so Qigong, that's Chinese, of course, there's external and internal Qigong. And external Qigong would be a Qigong master who applies his energy, his Qi energy, and heals the person. Internal Qigong would be exercises you do to stimulate the Qi, or the life force, or the Prajna, or the vital force, or the Kukuru in Japanese. This is what I'm actually more favored towards, or this is what I'm biased towards, these mind-body approaches, because I think these approaches actually complement Western medicine very well. Okay. Whenever I put something into my body or anybody else's body, I'd like to make sure that there's adequate evidence that it works. We all have to be evidence-based, of course. In the eminence-based, but evidence-based. And I think all of this can be very complementary to Western medicine. Meditation, I don't think there's any harm in that, no? In the right, if you do it properly. Hypnosis, use of music and art, therapy, intercessory prayer, mental healing, visualization, imagery. You can do this in conjunction with Western medicine. Now let's look at the progress of medicine through time naman. Okay. Initially, it was the biomechanical models, like Kepler, si Copernicus, si Descartes. But they break people into mechanical parts. So they break a whole person into different parts, and if they put them together, ergo, that should work. Parang kotse, diba? It doesn't work that way, no? But because of that, they went into, after that approach, to biopsychosocial medicine. Okay? After that, they came up with mind, body, spirit medicine, where they incorporated the spirit into the picture as well, no? There's a book by Alan Dionisio, if you know Alan, is the head of family medicine for UP, and they look at the biopsychosocial issues, no, which you can apply in the day-to-day dealing with patients. But the new kid in the block is integral medicine. It's actually gelling right now. They're not very sure what it is, but it's very interesting, but because it looks at everything, not just the patient, but it also looks at the physician. And beautiful, okay? So in integral medicine, there's one slide I think I was yeah, okay. So integral medicine looks at the objective and the subjective factors in terms of healthcare or the health of a patient, or even the physician's interpretation of health. You have the objective, which is exterior, and objective, which is collective. You have the subjective, which is interior, and the subjective, which is collective. Okay. So external objective or external individual, they deal with organs, what happens to an organ, what happens to tissue, cells, behavior. We know this in Western medicine, we're taught to that. Okay. Exterior collective would be social structures that affect the patient's health and well-being. 5 families and tribes, ecosystems, communities. Interior individual naman would be feelings, meanings, concepts, and beliefs. Interior collective would be shared meanings, spiritual beliefs, shared worldviews, and value subcultures. So it takes things in a bigger, much bigger perspective, even from a cosmological perspective, actually. Okay? It's not complementary, holistic, or integrative medicine. The central view is that it looks at reality in relation to the larger scheme of things. Always the big picture. Okay? It's not which is better. Chinese medicine is Ayurvedic medicine, is Tai Chi better, is Qigong better, but why are all of these approaches available? Otherwise, God would be stupid, right, if you believe in God. Right? I do. If you believe in God, there seems to be a role for everything. So we need to be integral in the approach, no? Okay? It incorporates all the dimensions, the physical, the spiritual, the ecological, and cosmological as well. Now, later on, we'll be talking about the framework of the PNA Philippines Summit, why nurses are going abroad. That would have an impact in this approach as well. Okay. Sometimes it's said that conventional medicine treats the illness, while holistic medicine treats the person. Integral medicine not only treats the illness in person, but also the physician. Remember, when you're in the process of healing, it's not only the patient which gets better, but you get better at the same time. It's a two-way street. We sometimes forget that. Okay? It can also more effectively help the healer. And yung 4 quadrants na sinabi ko actually, which I alluded to, which was there even earlier on, is kay Ken Wilber. So Ken Wilber has a lot of books. One of them is A Brief History of Everything. He's a New Age man, a Renaissance man, a philosopher, and he divides it into the 4 dimensions which I already talked about. Okay? So So ito yung dimensions na yun which we got into. We looked at that already. Now let's look at, say, cancer. What are the causes of cancer? If you look at from the external individual, pwede genetic abnormalities yun, di ba? There's some genes which predispose you to cancer. There's something wrong with immune regulation. We all have cancer cells, but the immunity is good. It eats up the cancer cells, we're well. Maybe it's because, of course, of your smoking. No? 85 to 90% of lung cancer is due to cigarette smoke, but only 15% of people who smoke get lung cancer. Depends on how you look at that. If you look at exterior collective causes, environmental toxins can lead to cancer. Lack of economic resources for prevention. Hindi nila alam paano mag-breast self-exam. So hindi na-pick up yun, and because of that, kumalat na yung cancer mo. Some beliefs also which are very important, which have to be addressed if you want to make a dent in the course of, say, breast cancer in the community, in the population, in the Philippines, and in the world. Okay? And maybe in the whole cosmos. Okay? Interior individual mood states. No? Some people believe that they got the cancer because of a conflict. Because once they get cancer, it's a punishment from God. They get AIDS, it's because of their lifestyle maybe, but that's a form of, that's one way probably, some would say, controlling your growth rate. Okay. Some beliefs and attitudes about that. And cultural beliefs regarding healthcare. Ang akong lolo bitaw, 95 years old na, nagsigarilyo gihapon, buhay pa mangyayari siya. Okay? So that would be a cultural belief that it doesn't happen in my family. No, my grandfather's still alive. Even if I smoke, I'll probably end up alive at 95 without any cancer. Now, doctor-patient relationship, importante din to when we deal with patients, these four quadrants. Okay? Feelings ng doctor will be important, you know. Let's see, there's another slide there. Yeah, okay. You can use that there. So exterior individual, you address your patients, what the doctor feels in the process. You can use the same schema as a placebo response for physicians taking up nursing and even dealing with the HMO controversy. So there are different dimensions we need to look at, and this is where integral medicine is getting into. We can spend a whole hour on this, but that's just to whet your appetites. Okay? Alright. Minsan yung mga doktor may bagong bahay pinapagawa kaya mas mataas ang PS. Kasama ba yun? I know some doctors like that. Okay? O minsan pagdating ng doktor, ang hirap ng AP mo. Kung hindi pa natin nahuli yun, patay ka na sana. Okay, so certain beliefs. Okay? Buti na hindi po surgeon, hindi wala. Okay. There's some things that conventional medicine cannot do. Okay? Now, there are limitations. So if we were able to heal everyone, nobody would die. The only absolute truth in life is once you're born, you're all die. It's just a matter of time. Okay? We cannot treat